Good day everyone. Today's topic in new market development is just a continuation of what we have discussed about innovation. Before we proceed to our lesson, let us have a short review of what we have learned on the first part of this chapter. In business, improvement of product or services is very necessary, and that is called innovation. There are 7 sources of innovation. Those are the unexpected, the incongruity, process need, industry and market structure change, demographics, changes in perception, meaning and mood, and new knowledge. Those sources serve as guide for those in the business industry to keep their business success. Moving on to our next lesson, let us talk about the first mover advantage. First mover, what is it? It may sound new to you, but it is very significant in the field of business industry. In business, the first mover is the one that first introduced a product or services. Ito ang mga naunang nagpakilala ng isang produkto sa market, gaya halimbawa ng electronic load ng mga mobile phones. Dati, ang prepaid load ay ginagamitan ng cards, but through innovation, the prepaid load is already simplified into a more convenient way and anyone can avail it. In this new service, there is one telephone company that introduced it in the market, and that is called the first mover. A first mover is a service or product that gains a competitive advantage by being the first to market with product or service. Being first typically enables a company to establish strong brand recognition and customer loyalty before competitors enter the arena. Being the first mover, of course, they have advantage over its competitors. It is important to note that the first mover advantage only refers to a large company that moves into a market. For example, Amazon was not the first company to sell books online. However, it was the first company to achieve significant scale in that line of business. Another example is the Sagu business. The Sagu is a store or it involves in pearl shake industry. Sagu was launched in April 1999 in Canada. They are the first in pearl shake and has received various awards. Pero ngayon, madami na nag-o-offer ng pearl shake. Marami na rin may mga milk tea. But the Sagu has established its reputation over time. There are advantages of being a first mover. There are several advantages to being the first business to execute a strategy. The companies that are first movers can often establish their product as the industry standard. Next, be able to tap into consumers first and make a strong impression, which can lead to brand recognition and brand loyalty. Also, the first mover may be able to control resources such as basing themselves in a strategic location, establishing a premium contract with key suppliers, or hiring talented employers. Likewise, the first mover can gain an advantage when there is a high switching cost for customers or consumers to switch to latter entrants. Example of this is there is a current producer who sells goods for 100 pesos per piece. And there is new entrant offering 80 pesos per piece. So kung ikaw ang customer, ano ang pipiliin mo? Meron din kasing risk dyan. As a customer, iisipin mo or pipiliin mo kung alin yung meron ng good reputation dun sa production na yon or dun sa product na yon. And also, tested mo na yung product na binibenta nung naunang producer. So, isa yon sa mga advantages ng first mover. Also, there are 3 benefits of being a first mover. Number 1 is technology leadership. The first movers can make their technology or product or services harder for later entrants to replace. For example, if the first mover can reduce the cost of producing a product or an experience curve effect, the first mover can establish an absolute cost advantage. In addition, applying for patents can protect and establish a first mover advantage. The next one is control of resources. The second benefit is the ability to control strategic and or scarce resources. For example, Walmart was able to locate their stores in small towns and prevent others from entering the market. Halimbawa, dito sa atin sa Nueva Ecija, may naunang nagtayo ng SM store. Yung ibang enterprise or yung ibang department store, mahihirapan na magtayo dito dahil mayroon ng nauna. Number 3 is buyer switching cost. The third benefit that first movers may enjoy is buyer switching cost. If the first business is able to establish itself first, it may seem inconvenient consumers to switch to a new brand. Dahil nga may loyalty na ang customers, so brand-oriented na rin sila, ang una nilang i-consider is the durability or serviceability of the goods that they purchased. Ganon din sa services. Kung tested na mahusay ang services nung nauna nilang suki na establishment, so hindi na sila hahanap pa ng iba. And of course, if there are advantages of being a first mover, there are also disadvantages. Number 1, the first mover may invest heavily in persuading consumers to try a new product. Later entrants would benefit from these informed buyers and would not need to spend that much on educating consumers. So, syempre, magpapakilala ka pa lang ng produkto. Pag ikaw yung nauna sa market, kailangan magpakita ka pa rin talaga ng husay at ng galing ng produkto na ini-introduce mo para mapaniwala mo ang iyong mga customers. The next one is later entrants can avoid mistakes made by the first mover. So, syempre, kung ano yung errors nung nauna, yun na magiging reference nung mga susunod. Third, if the first mover is unable to capture consumers with their products, later entrants can take advantage of it. So, syempre, mas huhusayan na nung mga sumusunod na manufacturers yung produktong i-introduce nila. Pwedeng gayahin pero mas mahusay. Next is, later entrants can reverse engineer new products and make them better or cheaper. When we say reverse engineering, ito yung kokopyahin ng ibang manufacturers yung produkto mo at mas huhusayan pa at gagalingan pa. The next one is, later entrants can identify areas of improvement by the first mover and take advantage of it. So, katulad lang din nung una kong sinabi, pag nakita ng mga bagong manufacturers o bagong producers na yung produkto mo ay may mga flaws, ibig sabihin hindi siya ganun ka-perfect, pwede pa nilang improve yung product na inintroduce mo. So, isa yun ang mga disadvantages ng first mover. These are the examples of successful companies that were not first movers. Although hindi sila yung unang nag-introduce sa market ng mga services or products na yun, sila pa rin yung naging successful, katulad ni Google. But before Google, ano ang available na mga search engines? There were search engines such as Yahoo and InfoSeek. However, Google was able to customize their search engine to perform more effectively and efficiently. They are now in control over 65% of the search activity. So, sa internet, lagi nating binubuksan na search engine ay Google kasi ang dami dong makukuha ng mga information. Pati sa Gmail, yung ating Google Meet, what else? Yung Google Classroom. So, lahat yan ay kinikater ni Google. Whereas Yahoo, wala siyang ganon. The next one is the Southwest Airlines. The Southwest Airlines entered the airline industry as a late entrant but was able to expand and become the second largest airline in the world in terms of the total number of passengers. The company focused on an area that other airlines were not looking at, short-haul flights. So yun, yung mga mahihikli lang kasi usually yung mga airlines natin, mga malalayong biyahe. So ito mga mabibilis lang o kaya mga short distance lang ito. The next one is ito, sikat na sikat sa inyo to, the Starbucks. Pag sinabing Starbucks ay saucy. There were a lot of places to buy coffee before the establishment of Starbucks. However, Starbucks was able to establish a strong brand equity by placing an emphasis on making Starbucks the go-to place when you're not home or at the office. Okay, so ito yung masasabi nating your new home away from home. Because you can search, you can have your research in the Starbucks. You can chat with your friends. You can meet friends. So marami kang po pwedeng gawin dun sa Starbucks, no? Okay, you see? The first mover has an edge over its competitors in many aspects. However, it is important to note that any business enterprise, be it a first mover or not, should continuously improve their products or services in order to keep their standing in the business world, and that is called innovation.